welcome back. Today we're going to move things into the kitchen and I'm going to share some of my favorite low-carb keto recipes. So my first recipe I want to share with you guys is making cheese crisps in the oven. So my family, myself, at least once a week, I am food prepping several different low-carb meats, cheeses, we've got veggies. So I'm super excited to share with you guys all the low-carb recipes I've come across that I make. I've been doing keto for almost a year now. Just eating that way has made me feel so much better. My gut don't feel bloated. I have more energy. My kids are eating more like that, although they still eat some carbs, but they've cleaned up their diet a lot. Today I'm going to use pepper jack, mozzarella, and sharp cheddar. You can use any of the type of cheeses that you really like and enjoy. So you got your Colby Jack, your Monterey, you can do a smoked cheddar, whatever it be. So with these blocks of cheese, I like freshly cutting my cheese prior to baking it in the oven. I have used grated cheese and I have used the pre-grated cheese you can actually buy at the stores. I don't necessarily like the pre-grated. It's actually got a powder in it to help preserve it. And I don't think it tastes as good. I don't think it tastes as fresh and they don't cook as well. Now, I have done where I grate all the cheese and do little blobs of grated cheese. It's super time consuming. And yes, it turns out really good, but I'm going to share with you guys how quick and easy this can be. First, you want to get your cookie sheets ready. I buy big cases of parchment paper at one of the local grocery chains. Parchment paper works super well, easy cleanup. You want to line your parchment on your pans. I have 3 pans because I tend to prep a lot. We've got a good sized family here, so I try to just do it once a week, load it in a Tupperware, and it lasts all week, so I'm not doing it several times a week. We're going to do pepper jack first. Basically, I don't know if you can get in there and get that, Allie, on camera. Basically, I cut them about that thick. And when I put them on my pan, I break them in half just so I'm not getting this big cheese crisp. This is like the perfect size. Grab and go. Pair it with a little piece of meat or something. So basically you want to start lining your cookie sheet. And I usually do about 1.5 trays of the pepper jack. This has been a family favorite. So this one tends to leave the Tupperware first. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of these up, you guys, and then just break them in half. Meanwhile, while we're cutting all this up, you can set your oven to 400 degrees. Once it's preheated, these will cook for about 8 minutes at 400 degrees. Right, as you can see, I've got my first tray filled up with pepper jack cheese. You can see about how far to space them. This works really well. I usually don't get them melting into each other, so it's kind of the perfect spacing. I've done some half the size of cheese, and then I made some a little bit smaller. So we're gonna go put these in the oven, you guys. Remember, 400 degrees goes for about 8 minutes. I'll show you when they come out. While these are cooking in the oven, I'm going to start cutting up my mozzarella and my sharp cheddar. We've got the mozzarella all cut up now. We're just waiting on the pepper jack to finish up cooking. So while the pepper jack is in the oven, I'm going to show you guys how to set up your pan for when your cheese is done. You want to let your cheese rest for about 5 minutes once it comes out of the oven, just so it cools a little bit and it's easier to actually handle it and pull it off of the parchment paper. You're going to want to take a cookie sheet that you're not using and line it with a good stack of newspaper. And also, I layer some paper towels on it. right over the top of the newspaper. Pull it off and start laying them on your newspaper and your paper towels. This will help take that leftover grease that cheese gets and soak it up. So then you don't get a cheese crisp that tastes like a lot of grease. It's actually light and airy and delicious. Timer just beeped. It's been 8 minutes. Here's what we got. So we're gonna let these sit for about 5 minutes and cool a little bit. And then we're gonna move them over to the newspaper and paper towels to let them drain any excess grease. And in the meantime, I'm gonna put the mozzarella in. It's been about 5 minutes, so we're just gonna start pulling these off and just start lining them on our paper towels. This will help soak up that grease like I was saying, which is really nice because as you can see, there is a lot of grease, and this does make a huge difference. It's been about 10 to 12 minutes since I've put my cheese on my paper towels and newspaper. Usually that's about all it takes. These have cooled quite a bit, so now you can start picking them up and putting them in your Tupperware. If you want to come in, Allie, and kind of show how much extra grease that these paper towels and newspaper have really taken out of this cheese, which is what you want. Okay, so here's the mozzarella coming out. Took 8 minutes as well. Mozzarella tends to puff up a little more, but let me tell you, that doesn't change the way it tastes. It's still super delicious. So we're gonna let this sit for 5 minutes. Last but not least, we're doing our sharp cheddar. Usually I like to wait and do the sharp cheddar last. Orange cheese tends to make the most grease. To do this one last, you will not have to change out your parchment paper because your mozzarella, your pepper jack, their grease doesn't saturate the parchment paper as much. So let's get this lined out. We're gonna get this in the oven and I'm gonna show you guys the end result. Okay, the orange sharp cheddar cheese crisps are done. So like I was saying, you can see the film of grease that these guys have. So you definitely want a fresh layer of paper towels down on your newspaper to soak up all of this excess grease. My sharp cheddar cheese crisps are almost done cooling. We're gonna get these all in the Tupperware and I'll show you what we got at the end, you guys, and then basically just put them in your fridge. Well, that's it, you guys. Super quick, super easy, super delicious. And here's what we got. We've got our pepper jack, we've got our mozzarella, and our sharp cheddar. So as you can hear it, it's nice and crunchy. Now, if you like your cheese softer, obviously you just won't cook it as long. If you like it more crispy and a little bit more browned, which I did some on our pepper jack, just cook an extra minute or so. Your main thing is, so definitely put it on the newspaper, put it on the paper towels, let all that grease drain out of them. It's just a much more pleasant cheese crisp, and I don't know about you guys, but we got about a week of quick, easy, grab it, let's go kind of snack. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I can't wait to share more recipes with you, and have a nice day.